YouTube is Sensei, the place to be. Children, Mr. A&D, back with another midweek wrestling review for NXT and AEW Dynamite for February 7th and February 8th. So they're going to be a little bit different here because earlier in the day, me and Primetime, we didn't get a chance to review Vengeance because we didn't do a podcast this week. And we didn't do a podcast last week or a podcast kind of this week. So he's about to go on the road. That's that's a little bit of my fault also. But there will be a podcast coming up this weekend. It'll probably be me, maybe Late Sketch, maybe even Q Flow. I'm not sure Prime will probably be absent from it. But earlier we recorded our NXT Vengeance Day review plus like a merge review of what happened on NXT that following Tuesday. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add that part in here. Then when we come back, we'll talk about AEW. So right now we're about to go into the whole NXT section of the show. Obviously, we never got a chance to talk about Vengeance Day that happened on Saturday. I'm still trying to get used to these Saturday pay-per-views and stuff like that. But I actually thought Vengeance Day was actually pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. They had some returns that nobody cared about. They had a decent main event, which you knew what the outcome was going to be. They had a surprise finish and shit. And, of course, the one of the main matches, which I thought could have been a little bit better. But, I still enjoyed it. And then an injury that has just been fucking showing all around. Because, first of all, it's just like some people don't like the screaming stuff. But some people don't care. How do you feel about it? What I'm talking about is Dijak's finger.
It depends. Because I'll see it, but I don't want to keep seeing it. For example, with Paul George.
Yeah. Oh.
Basketball fans.
Yeah.
Paul George had an injury. It's I can see it and I can look at the injury, but it's not I'm not going to sit there and dissect and zoom in and keep looking at it.
Yeah.
So I can see it and I can probably see it a few more times. So I'm not going to keep harping on it.
Yeah. Oh God. That Paul George. But also it reminded me of, remember Sid Vicious?
Now that one, that's probably okay. You know what? Never mind, because I can't look at that I can't look at that too many times.
Yeah,
Paul George one, I can look at the Sid Vicious one, probably because the Paul George one, it was fast. It's fast. The Sid Vicious one was and he just sitting there. I'm oh, okay.
Yeah, who does that? Who does a boot from the middle rope like that? You know what I'm saying? I was just
who wears jeans like that? He was whatever, whatever.
And it just be sitting there. I'm just fix camera guy, get off of this, right? And that's what it was with Dijak's finger. I was just when I was scrolling through Twitter, everybody's had this picture. I was can we please? Okay, I seen it once, I seen it twice. I was okay, but I'm good. I'm sitting there just holding my fingers, please don't break. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit was crazy, man. But yeah, I just want to get into a rundown of Vengeance Day and what happened after Vengeance Day. It started off with the North American champion Wesley taking on Dijak. They gave this man on NXT this past Tuesday. He gave this man a whole background. He did an open challenge. They talked to his wife and how passionate he is about this. I was damn. By the way y'all set this whole thing up, I would never thought he was a tag team wrestler last year. So they really doing a good job setting him up as a North American champion. And going in there, I really thought that Dijak may actually win this title because of how they were pushing Dijak, Terminator Dijak type thing. But Wesley was in there doing his thing, and Dijak was in there doing his thing also. There was a point where he took a broom and locked Wesley in his computer chair and was just super kicking the fuck out of him because we couldn't get enough at it at the Royal Rumble. And he was going to do a top rope moonsault onto Wesley stuck in the chair. That 6'8" man was going to do a moonsault on the top rope to little Wesley in that computer chair. It didn't happen. Tony Baloney, your boy, and Stacks came out and pushed out the way. Now, I don't know when the finger broke happened, but there was 2 days. Wesley did his top rope type of spinning type of splash on the Dijak, and then he did his backflip kick to it with 2 hits in the back of the head. I don't know which one of those broke Dijak's finger. I don't know, but it was gross. But Wesley is victorious. Did you?
Wesley. I think if they have another match, then Dijak is going to win. But I don't know how quick that's going to be with his finger. So, no.
I mean, because honestly, they could probably pop it back into place, I guess, and kind of like put a splint on it, maybe, so it can heal. You think? Maybe not. Guess not.
I don't know how that works.
Okay, because I hate talking about it, but I see people who break their finger like that on purpose and like try to pop it back in. I'm like, oh, this is stupid. Like, stop doing shit like that, But yeah, that was fucking just gross to fucking watch. To be honest with you, that was just really gross to watch. God, what else happened with second one? They had Caden Carter, KC2, taking on the team of, what was it, something Henley and Kiana James, and I was like, they were like a briefer tag team, and I didn't think they was going to do anything with that, but they end up doing tag team title match. And yo, I text y'all. I don't know if you see my text, Prime, but I was like, they are a really good tag team. Like, they was doing all the tag team moves.
Who, KC or KC? Yeah, I mean, they've been teaming for like 4 years. Yeah.
But everything was just moving so fucking smooth. It was amazing. It was just like, like every amount of offense they just had like a nice follow up to it, and everything was. I was like, this is what a tag team looks like. You know what I'm saying? And it was just really good. But what happened was when they went for their finisher, as Katana chanced up there on the top rope to do her 450. She got knocked down off the ropes, and then KC got Kana got caught up, and she got pinned for the 3 count. But the problem was, I don't know if they were shooting this as an angle or not, but she had her foot under the bottom rope. Like, she pinned her, and her feet were under the bottom rope, and she pinned her in a stacked pin. And I'm like, okay, so we're obviously doing some shenanigans here with that. Come NXT, I don't know if I missed something, but I didn't see anything of them even. I must have missed it, because I must say they threw them a surprise party, and I was just like, oh, we not going to talk about what happened here? Okay, well, you know what? I am reading that they said in an interview that they said they got screwed and no one cares. And Perez is going to find a tag team partner to face them later on. So I guess they are going for a heel turn here.
Who's going for a heel turn?
KC2. I'm about to say...
You been telling me the people that come from the crowd that come in and do the little...
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
Look, first of all, I'm a big fan of KC2 now. I really am. But it was still a good match for them, to showcase themselves. Third match, Carmelo Hayes took on Apollo Crews in a 2 out of 3 falls match. You talk about Apollo really putting over Carmelo Hayes in this one. He got swept.
It's Apollo Crews. What do you mean?
Whoa. We're not going to do that, because Apollo Crews had an old Apollo Taker entrance at Vengeance Day, okay?
What I'm saying, what does Apollo Crews gain when you can literally build up the future and the now by making him lose to Carmelo Hayes?
Yeah, but I mean, not in a sweep. I didn't think he was going to get swept.
Why not?
Because
it's Carmelo Hayes. Like, if anybody can sweep, it's going to be Carmelo Hayes or Braun Breaker. So,
okay, I mean, I'm not mad at putting him on. I just didn't see
Grayson
that coming.
Waller. No, I'm saying, because Grayson Waller, yeah, okay, Apollo Crews will win or whatever, or somebody like that. But I think definitely Carmelo will be the one to sweep him.
Okay. Well, they But what happened after Carmelo scores the one fall, Dabba-Kato returns. For those who don't know who Dabba-Kato is, it's Commander Aziz.
Commander Aziz.
And he came back, and then first it looked like he was working with Apollo, and I was just like, we doing this shit on NXT? The man just came back in some jeans and a black beater. He ain't come back in no, Commander Aziz attire because he's not.
He came back Eric Rowan style?
He came back what?
Eric Rowan style, when Eric Rowan came back with like a Metallica shirt and just some jeans.
just came back like, I buy my house getting the paper. That's what he was doing. And I was like, why is there still history that you haven't explained? Because obviously the Apollo, that Nigerian gimmick is dead. So, like, what's going on here? But then after the match, after Carmelo Hayes won the matchup with the diving leg drop, Dabba-Kato goes to help Apollo Crews, and then he turns on him. So there you have that. Come NXT.
Now, I'm gonna be honest, I can care less about Apollo Crews and Dabba-Kato feud.
Who are you telling? Because that's what they're going into. Because on NXT, Dabba-Kato squash, what was it, Dante Chen? Nobody gives a fuck about that, the jobber. And then he gets on the mic talk, so Crews know what he did. I'm like, we're doing this? We're really doing this?
Did he touch him?
Huh?
Did he touch him?
Wow, Pride. Well, I know they ain't going that route. First of all, here's the thing. I never knew when Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz broke up because it was barely on TV anymore.
They didn't break up.
Oh, so like I said, so what the fuck he do? You know what I'm saying?
That's why when he came out, people thought that they were teaming up.
I was like, oh my God. You
they didn't break up. They just, you know what happened? They went to NXT.
There you have it. Fatal 4-way for the Tag Team Championships. Gallus taking on a New Day, taking on Pre-Daily, taking on Chase University. Why the fuck did I not get that Gallus?
Yeah, I don't know. I
had him, and I dropped him for the Creed brothers.
The Creed brothers.
I dropped him for the Creed brothers. I'm just like, wait a minute. Why did I just stick to Gallus? And my God, did they come back here and dominate this shit? And they pinned the New Day.
Sorry, now that I didn't. On Black History Month? Come on, man.
They dominated in this matchup. They gave Duke Hudson a powerbomb through the announce table. Or was that Pretty Deadly? It was one of them. They took out Pretty Deadly and they pinned Xavier Woods. And look, you already know they mean business when they pin in the New Day. They don't mean nothing when you pin in Pretty Deadly. When you pin in the New Day, that's something. So Gallus is the new NXT Tag Team Champions. I was like, maybe the New Day was just the holdover until till Gallus got there. Maybe that's what it could have been.
It could be, but maybe New Day stay there, try to win it again, and then if they lose, then they'll go.
Okay, possibility of that one too. Roxanne Perez took on Gigi Dolan and JCJ in a triple threat matchup, which they did the usual triple threat formula where they was working together at the beginning, and then after a while it was just like, okay, we're gonna turn so people try to get the pin, and then they end up fighting and everything like that. But then Roxanne Perez hits her. She don't call it the Code Red. What does she call it? Do you remember, Brian?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, she hit that Code Red to JCJ from the middle rope. So she ends up winning the matchup. Did you see on NXT now? They officially broke up now because they had a Shawn Michaels-esque segment on NXT where Bayley came to host Ding Dong Hello. And I was like, why the hell is Bayley here? But they
needed the show. They needed the show to do it on.
Yeah, and I was just like, Ding Dong Hello. I was like, Shawn looking for a door because they ain't got the barbershop glass window. So, but wait. They don't have nobody on NXT to have a show.
I'm
about to say, don't Chris
Waller have a show? Yeah.
The Waller
He must
effect?
don't have a TV. He must don't have a TV.
I mean, I don't. Neither does Bailey.
But Bailey has a door. The TV I'm talking about. Remember when Jericho put Shawn Michaels through the Jericho?
The Jericho 5000.
Yeah, that's probably why his eyes and stuff. Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're making sense now. Well, she came.
Even though I'm not gonna lie, I seen it. It didn't look like she put it through the door. It looked like she tried to, like, kick her through the door, and the door didn't happen, and she just kicked her right in the face. I was like,
"Yo, did you see how hard she kicked her in the fucking face?
Did you see the bruise?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because no disrespect out there, but Gigi Dolan is white enough that you will see the bruise when that happens. And I was just like, damn. I was like, after that whole segment, I was like, okay, I thought Gigi was going to turn on JC Jane, but JC Jane is the one turn on Gigi Dolan. So
nah, they want Gigi to. You know why they want Gigi to be the face?
Why?
You know why?
Okay. I mean, all that stuff that you should do in the Indies is kind of heelish.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about same reason why Nikita Lyons will never be a heel.
Yeah. All that cake back there.
I'm just saying, I didn't see the match. All I seen on Twitter and all that was God and Gigi. That's all I was seeing. That's all I was like, what did she do? And then I go into people talk about, oh, Gigi is caking. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
I thought she had like did a move or something. It was like, no, we talking about something else.
Yeah, she talking about something. You're right. I guess they didn't want to sell the JC J with her little easy bake oven back there. I guess they want to say they want cake. You know what I'm saying? That's wrong. But no, it was a rush segment because I was like, this thing was starting at 9:57. I was just like, what? So NXT had to go over for like 8 minutes. But yeah, she tried to throw it through the door, and they come through, and then she kicked her face hard, and which actually made the door go inward, but it didn't ever open because the door opens outward. So to have the door go inward, I was like, she kicked her fucking hard. And I was like, I think she made me really be crying because that kick was hard.
Yeah, no, she kicked that for. Yeah, she basically kicked that for real. You know?
Yeah. So, well, that's it. I guess it was like Mandy Rose come back to probably the end of the year. So I was like, Toxic Attraction can go out and do their own thing. Say what?
If she is.
But me personally, I'm just like, if you're going to bring them, it's probably time they come to the main roster. If you're going to bring them to the main roster, they work better as a tag team than by themselves.
Well, you know, we always have these teams. We build them up for over 2 or 3 years, and then get them to the main roster. And no,
nah. I'm about to say if you want a women's tag division, NXT got the best one because they actually got tag teams. Main roster don't. Y'all not making no case for that.
Remember when they built up like Ember and Shotzi as a good team?
Yeah.
And then they got to the main roster, and then it was like, nah, Shotzi's been teaming with Tegan Knox this whole time. It was like. No, she hasn't.
Because that's not a thing. You know, that's just not a thing. Her and Ember really could have worked it out, but no, they didn't. Main event, they had Braun Breaker taking on Grayson Waller inside of a steel cage matchup. I'm sorry, this cage match to me was just uneventful. It was just like, all right, cool. It was just standard. It wasn't no big surprises. It's just standard. Fucking cage match, and Braun Breaker gave a mega spear to Grayson Waller, and then he won the matchup. And he was like taunting his face, saying, "You know what? I run NXT." I'm just like, all right. But then after the match, though, is when Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams came down to the cage. Well, they came to the top of the ramp and stared Braun Breaker down as he was like celebrating on top of that cage, like scared, like he was gonna fall. Like, I hope I'll be able to get down. So. That was Vengeance Day. I thought Vengeance Day overall was a decent show. All right, so now it is time for AEW Dynamite. It is Wednesday, and you do know what that means. We got a big show of Dynamite today, which I thought Dynamite was pretty cool. It really was. Some confusing things, you know, on Dynamite actually. I'm not gonna sit there and say it was the greatest I've ever seen, though. But I'm just saying, but there's things in there I enjoyed. We had 2 championship eliminator matches, and then we had a championship match, 2 championship matches towards the end. So a lot of gold and things being passed around. So we start off with the eliminator match with Takeshita taking on MJF. You don't see MJF wrestle often. It's the opening matchup. The matchup was good. There was one spot where they were both on top rope and looked like Takeshita gave MJF a lariat, but he flipped backwards, landed on his feet, and they gave like a forearm exchange before they kind of all fell down. I thought that was really impressive. But there was a moment where Takeshita hurt his arm in the matchup, so MJF was working on that arm mostly the whole matchup. And then he puts it to Solve the Earth, and the way he was holding, like he was saying, "Suck it," while he was holding the arm, and Takeshita taps out. After the matchup, he has the Dynamite Diamond Ring and starts hitting Takeshita in the head. He starts bleeding. There's blood all over MJF's hands, and so that's how the whole segment ends as Bryan Danielson runs in to make the save. They have a little promo between with Samoa Joe talking about Darby Allin. Darby Allin was a worthy adversary, but Wardlow is not, and there's some secrets that he knows about Wardlow that he will expose, and he'll take everything away from Wardlow. Which I'm thinking Wardlow and Samoa Joe is probably going to. I don't know if they're going to stretch it out a whole another month until Revolution in March. I thought it was at the end of February. It's March 5th, so I don't know if they're going to stretch it all the way out till then. But it's going to be here pretty soon, you know. I'm like, I don't know if how they're going to build that bridge up to there. Then we have another World Championship eliminated matchup. Jamie Hayter taking on the Bunny. Why the Bunny? She came out there with Penelope Ford. I like Penelope Ford, you know, shout out to Philly. But I'm like, why the Bunny? There are certain people when they go challenge for championships, they just never. They have no chance. I don't care how talented they are, or they like the Bunny, Anna Jay. These women have no chance. Like, what the hell? Where is legit Layla Hirsch? Is she injured? I'm not necessarily sure, but. Okay, so during this matchup, Jamie Hayter was giving the Bunny some like T-bone capture suplexes. The first one was clean. Oh no, exploded suplex. Excuse me. The first one was clean. The second one was botched, and it looked like the Bunny fell right on her head or scraped her face, and she was like holding her head the whole time. So I don't know if they ended the match quick, but Jamie Hayter hits the ripcord lariat. Pins the matchup, and then the Bunny just hurried up and grabbed the head and rolled off. And you can see that she's being helped to the back as Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker, and Rebel was celebrating. So I was like, I hope she is okay. Like, just because I don't like the Bunny don't mean I want anything bad to happen to her. I just hope that she's all right. Saraya and Toni Storm was in the back. Talk about saying that even though Hayter won the match, she's still a loser. Toni Storm and Saraya, such beautiful women. Saraya brought in Levy Bates, and then they attacked her and they spray painted her with like this green spray paint can. I was like, it's all they're taking over. So I guess they're doing like this outside group. Maybe Saraya is doing like a women's shield type group with Toni Storm, and most likely it's going to be Ruby Soho because she's not an AEW original. And it looks like this group is going to consist of not AEW originals. The same. Backstage now, this right here. Backstage, MJF gave credit to Takeshita, but he cut a promo, right? And this promo, I was like, cause it wasn't like it was backstage. He was sitting on the couch and everything, and he said, that people didn't think he can do it. People don't think he's able to do this. And same thing with Bryan Danielson. And then he started talking about his time in high school. He talks about how when he was a football player and his buddies would go. And he said he would just punch the car. He kept getting ticket after ticket till his license almost got revoked. And then they went to this party. And he said then there was this girl he had a crush on named Liv. Not Liv Morgan, because the way he described this girl, it's like a black woman to me. I'm just saying. Talk about her brown skin, her curly hair. Come on, MJF. And how they was riding in the car. And they're going high speed. They crash right into this pole. Then when MJF woke up, he had this pace in his mouth. He know what's going on. Then he seen that this crush, the woman he had a crush on, cracked her head on the windshield. Then the sirens start coming up. And then, but what did he do? He took her lifeless body and switched seats with her so he wouldn't be the one found driving the car. The whole point of this is that I'm a scumbag, and I will do anything I will to keep this championship, and you will not win that match tonight because you will not face me for this championship. I will do anything to keep this. You because I am a scumbag and I enjoy it. I was just like, did this man just admit to like aggravated assault, like like a manslaughter? Because did she die? Like in the story, he said he put those in that she was still breathing, but still, that was then, And like I said, obviously, I don't know if it's a true story now. I'm just saying, but I was like, what this man just admit to? Oh, by the way, the part I forgot, because I know before I was saying it, is the part where they were driving the car and he was getting some roadhead. I was just like, yo, what is going on in this thing? And the thing is, I was clocking out for work, so I missed this part, and I had to come back home and watch this thing, and I was just like, what is going on, bro? Did this man just admit, like, almost, killed a black girl while he was sitting there with roadhead? Allegedly. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, what, MJF, what's going on, you scum of the earth? Great heel work. Great. It makes you hate this man. It makes you hate this man. And that's what, as all he was. I was just sitting there like, mouth just dropped to the floor. You know what I'm saying? So, then now it's time for the Garcia-Guevara gauntlet. And I was sitting there thinking, like, was it going to be all week? I'm like, they really try to do this whole gauntlet now? So, Ricky Starks comes out. He starts off versus Angelo Parker. Okay, so he beats Angelo Parker with a spear. Then it's time for Matt Menard to come in, and then Starks immediately rolls Matt Menard for the pin. So he takes out 2.0. There it is. Now it's like Danny Garcia comes to the ring, but so is Sammy Guevara. Which one's getting in the ring? And act like it's gonna be Sam, but Danny Garcia gets in the ring. So this is the one where they actually had like a little match in there. I was like, what the hell's going on? Because he just took care of Parker and Menard really early. They're on the apron, and then Ricky Starks spears Garcia on the apron. As he's down there, he's there with the fans, and there's this one fan who gives him like a back elbow. Nobody knows what's going on, but he's out, and he has a mask on. He has a Scissor Me Daddy ass shirt on, and Taz and all them playing like, was it the fan? Was it the fan? Like, if it really was, obviously security would be like, yo, what's going on? But it's part of the angle. Then Garcia gets back in it and then pins him. I'm just saying, like, they take him out. And as soon as he comes, soon as the guy comes over the barricade, it's like, it's Jericho. You can tell by a little chain on his wrist. Jericho's one of my favorite wrestlers. I was like, it's Jericho. He gave him the Judas effect. And Jericho takes the mask off, and it's Chris Jericho. So, where is that? How's that going to lead? Obviously, it's going to lead to Ricky Starks and Jericho at Revolution. But I figured, I was like, you ain't going to do the whole gauntlet tonight. That's not going to do anything. This is more of an angle than anything, to be honest. So, we're going to see what happens after that. Backstage, Billy Gunn told the Acclaim that he's being pulled two different directions, man. So he made a decision to team to stay back in this match, and then the Acclaim says, "Look, don't worry about it. We're gonna handle our business," And then they said, "Scissor me, daddy ass." Also backstage, Takeshita was being taken care of by the trainers. Bryan Danielson was in there getting ready to be interviewed by Renee, and then they heard somebody pounding at the door, and then he tried to look at it, and the door was locked. So while they show the doors locked, you see MJF walking down to the ring with his knee taped up and everything. And he told Aubrey Edwards when Rouge came in that, hey, Bryan Danielson isn't here, so for wrestling rules, you need to start counting him. So she rung the bell, and then she started counting. But it's funny when the crowd was chanting all that crap to him, he was just like, no, because they're in El Paso. He's like, no hablo ingas. No hablo español. My Spanish is terrible. It's terrible, y'all. RB was counting really, really slow. And he was like, yo, speed up. So Daniel said, bust through the door. And it seemed like there was somebody trying to hold him back, but the catcher took them out. And he ran to the ring. And then now he made it to the ring. And now it's time for the match between him and Rouge. So they had a pretty decent matchup. Bryan Danielson hits the the knee for the win. MJF comes to the ring, hits Danielson with the Dynamite Diamond Ring, and applies the Salt of the Earth while security tries to pull him off. So we're going to get our Iron Man matchup, which we already knew. So that should be a pretty good one. So I didn't catch the backstage or care about the whole Impractical Jokers thing, and grab Jericho's baseball bat. Did not care. The AEW World Trios Championship matchup, the Elite taking on AR Fox and Top Flight. Trying to break a Young Bucks match down is almost impossible. Unless I get paid for extreme journalism, which I'm not. I'm a regular guy doing a YouTube video. So, high place action. The crowd was really into this matchup because AR Fox and Kenny Omega had near falls, okay? And I'm talking about creative near falls. I'm not talking about kicking out of one's finisher. Kenny Omega almost got late to breaking up one of those breakups because AR Fox hit a 450, and he Nick was it Nick or I can't remember if it was Nick or Matt. They was looking up like, come on, break this up. He had to kick out because Kenny was late to that. But AR Fox and Kenny Omega was going back and forth. Was like V-trigger. He was trying to go for the one wing. He was getting out of it, and AR would roll him up. He tried to get him in a crucifix pin. They can't get him a crucifix pin. It was going back and forth until finally Kenny Omega hit a crucifix on AR Fox and wrapped his leg in there, and it was a really awesome match. I say go back and check the thing out because it was pretty good. Backstage, Stokely Hathaway said there's no cracks in the firm. Yes, there is. It says, talking about Leo Moore and Page, basically down talking about Hook. And Hook, you see Hook come from the back, and he puts him in the arm bar. He said something to him. I couldn't really hear what he said, and then he let him go. Main event time is the AEW Tag Team Championship match. The Acclaim taking on the Guns. Oh my God, I did not. My daughter kept talking, and I was just like, I'm trying to hear Max Caster's rap. Okay, that and I was going back and forth between the the Sixers game. So, but as the match started, like I said, the match score wasn't as hot as the trios match. No, but I knew it was on the main event because of the story. So to speed things up, Austin Gunn hit the referee with a forearm. That referee sold it. He just fell all the way across the ring, fell through the ropes, and he was out. So then Billy Gunn comes out, and you're like, he's picking up Anthony Bowens, and he's like, oh my God, you see Colton Gunn holding the belt, or Austin Gunn holding the belt, and it looks like he's about to hold him up to hit him. And then as he's about to do it, he throws Anthony Bowens down and grabs the belt. But then Colton comes in and hits Billy Gunn with the belt. And now, but now they claim go back to fighting, and then they go and hit their finisher on Colton Gunn, I believe it was. They hit the mic drop, but there's no referee. They go back and get the referee into the ring, try to wake him up, but then the Gun Club or the Gun Boys start getting up and roll up Anthony Bowens, but then he switched to roll up, gets pushed into the ropes, and then gets hit with the title belt and falls down. And then the Guns pin the Acclaim and won the AEW Tag Team Championships. When I say the crowd was just like, what? Because there was no way I expected them to win the belts. I was like, we don't even need to put the belts on the Guns right now. But they did. And I was like, really? And the crowd was so surprised, and then they started booing. Then they was like, bullshit. Like the crowd was not happy with this. So it's like, okay, they get their rematch at Revolution, but it's just like, did the Acclaim even need to lose the belts right now? Do we need to play hot potato with the belts, kind of like how they did with Darby Allin with the TNT Championship? I honestly just don't know. So that's what it was. This week, honestly, for both shows, it's pretty much even. Because I'm also including Judgment Day also, but A-Day may get the nod if I'm just comparing the TV shows. But when I was talking about Judgment Day also, it kind of even for me. Maybe I keep saying Judgment Day. Excuse me, Vengeance Day. But you guys can post down in the comments down below. How did you guys enjoy? Did you guys enjoy NXT or AEW this week? Or how did you guys enjoy Vengeance Day? Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed my review. Hit the subscribe button for more wrestling content, 2K content, pop culture content right here on NC Studios. So once again, it's NC the place to be. Children, Mr. A&D, and the Nerd Coalition is out.